Hello all you happy people, Grimmy here with a video review for the Blue Lion, Princess Allura and Sven from Mattel. Now let's start with the packaging. The Blue Lion actually comes packaged in this nice window box where the lion can be clearly viewed with a background of a water scene behind it in the night. This is a very appropriate background given that the Blue Lion is the Lion of Water. On front you can actually see the Voltron logo in a nice holographic foil with the name Blue Lion at the bottom. And on the back you can actually see a nice picture of the Blue Lion, how it relates to the Allura or Sven action figures, and how it transforms from leg mode to lion mode. There's also a picture of Voltron himself with the Blue Lion highlighted as the piece of the 23-inch figure. Allura comes packaged in a nice window box with the Voltron logo on it and a nice artwork of Allura herself. You can clearly see Allura, her extra head, and her Lion King right in the front window. And on the back, it shows a picture of Allura, the piece of the blazing sword that she comes with, and how she relates to the Blue Lion. Funny thing is, it shows on the back of the box her with a pink lion key instead of the blue one that she actually comes with. A funny little quirk, I guess. Now, a nice thing about the Blue Lion's packaging is that the insert that holds the lion in can come out and act as a nice little figure stand here. As you can see, the bubble can stay in place and keep the lion posed while you enjoy having the lion with a nice little backdrop. Let's get on to the lion itself. Let's get these two out of the way. The Blue Lion is a nicely detailed figure and is very big. It's hard to get this thing in place. I'm going to take the backdrop out for real quick. And as you can see, it's very well detailed. Don't even have to zoom in because you can see everything pretty clearly. Articulation, you have ratchet joints in the back legs up to a point where it starts to get spring loaded. Ratchet joints in the front legs. Okay. Ratchet joints at the paws, and it's the same on either side. You got ratchet joints in the front, the elbows, and the front paws, and you also have a ratchet joint at the head. Now this one can look up a little bit, and you have to push the button to get it to look down again though, like this little button at the bottom. I'll get more into that later. And then you also have this nice articulation joint at the tail. Stands very firm thanks to all those nice little ratchet joints, but the spring-loaded pieces for the automatic transformation can get in the way of a lot of nice posing. Now, a nice other feature that it has is that you can take these lion key stands, if I can get Allura to stand up. Just pop it in and voila, you get the cockpit, which you will have to get a little closer in. And as you can see, it's well detailed with stickers. Zoom in a little bit and get a nice view. but it's a nicely detailed seat. You can even see some molded detail here too. And there's a nice thing, and a nice other feature is that you can seat the pilots inside. Now, as you can see, this back piece can pop off, but it's not very hard to pop back in place. It's just one of those little friction joints. But the figures fit easily inside, and it looks pretty good. So let's get Allura out and we'll take a look at her next. We'll actually look at Sven and Allura together. Now, before we actually get to looking at the 3 3/4 inch figures, I thought it'd be nice to actually look at the Blue Lion with some of its previous incarnations. We got the Trendmasters reissue of the original Blue Lion right here. The Toonami Masterpiece Blue Lion. And the vintage Panache Place version of the Blue Lion. And as you can see, the design has gone through quite a few changes over the years, but this new version actually pays a lot of nods to the Masterpiece and original versions. It's almost looks like a very larger scaled version of the original toy, minus some of the detailing. As you can see, the vintage Blue Lion actually has a lot of more detailing, like a number, the decal on here that has a little bit more detail than the original, and a lot more detail on the top of the head. As you can, and the new version of the Blue Lion doesn't have all that because it's meant to mimic the TV series a little bit more than anything else. And because most TV series are more simplified versions of the characters, it's pretty common. Now, the biggest thing that the Panache Place thing had that this new version has is the opening cockpit. So that's a nice little nod from the Panache Place set. Now, the Blue Lion does have one accessory. That being its lion sword, which just simply fits right into the jaws of the Blue Lion, like so. And it's a nice fit, won't fall out, but it can be removed very easily. I think it's a nice nod to have the lion sword because, given the size of these lions, posing them without combining them is actually a solid option, and something I might even have to do, since these guys are really, really big. Anyway, now let's get a look at those figures and see what we think of those. And now let's have a look at the figures themselves, for real this time. We got Princess Allura, who is the August monthly figure that you could have bought at MattyCollector.com at sale day. Unfortunately, has sold out since then. And we also have the subscription exclusive figure Sven, who this is actually the first figure ever for Sven. A nice thing about Sven was I came in a blister card that was reminiscent of the Panache Place figures, with the back showing the usual picture of the figure, some artwork from the old TV show, just telling you who Sven is and why he was taken out and replaced with Allura. Now these two figures are very nice, 3 3/4 inch scale, and feature the same set of articulation. You got your head rotation, ball jointed arms. Oh yeah, try to get this in the frame. Somewhat bend at the elbows, but they don't bend too far in. Like Allura has probably some of the best bends of the whole group. You got waist swivel, hips go in and out. It's hard to keep this in light, but yeah, hips go in and out. Knees bend and rotate. Got rotation at the knee and bends at the knee. Although it only goes that far. So you're not going to get like a whole lot of posing out of these, but still goes pretty well. Sven has the same level of articulation. They also have that bend at the bicep too, I almost forgot to mention. But as you can see, Sven doesn't have as much of a knee bend as Allura does. It's unfortunate, but it's been common throughout the entire Voltron line. Another thing to note is that while they do have these blasters sculpted onto their belts, they actually do not come off and cannot be held by the figures, which is unfortunate, but it's something we can live with, I guess. Well, we have to live with. There's no way around it. Now, if you do have like Star Wars figures with extra blasters, you can fit those into some of their hands, and it'll look pretty good. It's not the most perfect answer, but it's an idea. Now, each of these characters also came with one accessory, an additional head with the helmet on. Like here's Allura's. So you can go from looking like this to looking like this. And the helmeted heads look pretty good. Allura unfortunately has this looking down thing from her helmet, and it's not something that I can do anything about. But they do look pretty good with their helmets on. I can't get this camera to stop moving on me, sorry guys. The faces are done pretty well. Allura could possibly use like a little bit of lipstick around the lips just to bring them out. Maybe like a slight shade darker, not too much, because she didn't really wear a lot of lipstick on the TV series. But other than that, they look pretty good. So why don't we get their helmets back off, and we can get a closer look at their regular head sculpts. Sven is actually looking pretty good and show accurate. So is Allura. Like I said, a little bit more detail. Oh, sorry. A little more paint detail around Allura's face would have done wonders for this one, but other than that, she looks pretty good. And honestly, I think these two are some of the best looking of the team so far. Now a nice little defect, I guess you can say, about these that actually helps the figures out is that you can end up with one that has a little bit less glue than it needs to hold the head bit on the helmet for the helmeted head. Which means you can actually get the helmet off. And if you're wondering what the head looks like underneath, well, if I can get her to focus. Sorry guys, it wants to focus on the other two figures. Let's just scooch you over this way. There we go. As you can see, it looks okay, but you got this little nubby bit in the back that holds the helmet on. Okay, so. But this little happy defect, I guess you can call it, is a nice feature because, nice unintended feature because now you can actually pose your pilots holding their helmets. Now if it does have enough paint or glue holding it on, it is possible to work it out, but it takes a lot of work, and do so at your own risk, because there is a chance you could damage the figure by trying to get this stuff out. But all in all, it does look pretty good. Now, Allura came with 2 more accessories. One was a piece of the Collect and Connect Blazing Sword, which was the hilt. And it looks nice, and it goes together with the rest of the set very easily. But once you get it on there, it'll be next to impossible to get it off again. And as you can see, the Blazing Sword looks pretty good, and I can't wait to get that final tip piece with Keith. Another nice feature, or accessory it came with, was part of a 2-piece stand for one of your Blazing Swords. Either the Collect and Connect one, or the one that's included with the Black Lion. This one you can slide in like the piece very easily. Well, not so easily, I guess. I'm having a hard time of it. But, well, I'm not gonna bother. Only thing is, if you put this, don't put this together until you're ready to put the sword in place, because I cannot figure out how to get this thing apart. Meaning this might be a permanent stand. Meaning if you put a sword in there, you'll never get it out to use it for your 23-inch Voltron. So you might not want to use this thing if you want to use either sword. But it's nice for a display piece if people want it. Now let's have a little look at Allura with the panache place and their dimension versions of the character. And as you can see, there's a nice little evolution going on here. And she definitely looks a little bit better than the Panache Place figure. Especially with the silly little helmet. Oops. Sorry about that. But you can actually see how the character evolved from the original series to the Third Dimension series, it actually shows some growth in the character, I guess. But it's still nice to have all three of them. Really though, the Classics Allura is one of the best versions we've ever gotten. And I highly recommend the Blue Lion, Allura, and Sven to anybody who likes Voltron. But for one finale piece, let's just have a look at the Blue Lion in leg mode. So we just I want to try to do this real quick. And that is one big leg. As you can see, it's a gigantic leg, and it stands pretty tall. And for a size comparison, here's first edition Voyager Optimus Prime, or for an easier understanding one, RID Optimus Prime Voyager. Yeah, that is going to be a big leg, and it's going to be a really big bot. Now if you want to turn it back, just as simple as pushing a button and it'll splay out. You can pose it and you're good to go. Oh, don't forget to put the heel piece back in. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Sorry it's a bit of a long one, but it's a lot to review here. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have fun, and I'll see you around.